Hello there. So yeah, today, interesting day. I'm not gonna lie. We kind of started the dials, but you know, technical problems. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When I was like to do the dials, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh shit, like, cold calling. But I mean, you still, I put the dial there, but like all of the dials that I made end up in the voicemail. So yeah, like tomorrow we'll see. But that brief experience that was interesting because it's something that I already I already did. Even though it was like a short period, and like back then, like the situations were way worse. like I said, yeah, was manually. I had to dial, and there were no SLP. There, there, there was no there were no nothing. There was there was there was no nothing. So the the management people, they just weren't there. So I had to figure things out by myself, and I was still able to book two people. They didn't show up, but like with all disadvantages, I was still able to book that. So like right now, I'm in a way better position. Like it's still like the nervousism, the anxiety still hit, and then that like even though it's like it's not a pleasant situation to be in, it's interesting because that's in the moment where all the shit that I say in the videos like makes sense or is supposed to make sense because it's very easy to say like easy to say, hard to do, right? So easier said than done. So it's easy to say shit, but like actually putting through the practice. So that was like, okay, what is happening here? Like, why am I feeling this? Like, how can I, manage that? And then I was kind of, not motivated because, like I said, I started like there were problems with the dialer, so I had to stop because whatever. But then after I tried, I was like, what happened here? Why was I feeling nervous? And then I was like very tired, like mentally. I was like, oh fuck. Well, that really drained my energy, my bandwidth. But and now I just still had to train. I'm training by myself, and I was just, oh man, because I know that already happened, like other situations not related, like to sales or, but I noticed that when I'm tired, I think that's for all human beings, but when we are tired or too overwhelmed by emotions, it's not a good moment to take actions or to think actually because your thinking is not straight, it's not clear. It's like, how can I say, mm, it's influenced by negative emotions and negative thoughts. So it's not something like really liable, let's say, reliable, something like really reliable at the moment. Your judgment is not reliable at that specific moment. So in those types of moments, I just try to like not think, like there is no way, like it's the same thing. If I say don't think about blue polar bear, you're gonna think about a blue polar bear, right? Because the word no, there is no representation for that in our mind. There's no representation of a no, like just the words, but like the words they're nothing because like we create the words. They have no meaning. But like a polar bear, like you know how it is, and you know how it is the core. the color blue, right? So okay, since those words like polar bear and blue, they have a representation, you can imagine that. But the no, there's no representation to that. So that's why you think about that. And my point here is, if you say like don't think about something, you will think about this something. So like the best way to do that is think about other thing. That's the catch. That's the catch. So instead of let's if you've got a problem, whatever. Instead of I won't think about that because you will. It's better for you to think about other thing. Like for example, because there's no way um like for you to feeling an emotion, you gotta have a thought behind that. Like I can just say like stay sad and then you will be automatically sad. There's gotta be a catalyst to that. There's gotta be a memory, a thought, like an image, like some trigger, so you can feel this emotion and whatever the emotion is, happiness, joy, anger, whatever. So I was kind of like unmotivated, like kind of upset. Let's say upset with my kind of performance. So and like the trigger for that was like the dial wasn't working. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like when you put to the light, the things that like are in the back of your mind. It's so ridiculous, right? Whatever, man. So it's just like nothing have even started. Like that's the thing. Like when you put into the light, when you really like face it, like what is the problem here? Because when you don't face it and like it creates like power, like those thoughts, it become more powerful, and then like you let those like those pathetic things dictate your actions, and then like those like insignificant things can really impact the important things for you in your life. So when you bring it to the light, like I was upset because whatever, I was feeling nervous. Like it's so ridiculous, right? But like in my mind, it wasn't making sense. I was upset about that. But like when you put into the light, like, oh, it really is that it? Like that's the thing that is bothering me. So, and I was only able to do that because I started training. So, what I'm doing like shadow boxing. Like you pretend like you're fighting with someone, so you do some combinations, and then like I said in other videos, I gotta have bag here, a punching bag. So, I was thinking about that. Like I said, the thing of the polar bear. Instead of me, because I can just don't think about that. Whatever, it doesn't work. So think about it's the same thing. I was thinking about the dialer, right? So if you say like don't think about boxing, I will think about boxing, just to make more easy to understand. So I'll think about okay, I gotta do the jab, right? Like one, two, three, like jab, straight, and left hook, for example. So I was thinking about that, and then like it's been like 1 week, 2 weeks since I started getting back to training, and then I realized that I was way better, like in my standards, of course. I was way better than when I started again, like in the day, like way better. My cardio, my movements, yeah, my now how is the word? Yeah, my form was way better, way better. And then I noticed that shit, man. Like in the that was very crazy because I was doing, and then I noticed that I improved, and I got like really more motivated to do that. Like I was like the flow, let's say. I was in the flow of the activity itself. But like shit, like I wasn't thinking about anything else. I was just like shit, man. Like one, two, three. Oh, okay, okay, straight. Oh, jab. So like my mind was focused on this activity at the moment. So I think that allowed me to, like this other thing that happened to me, like this, like, let's say this bad performance shit. So like was kind of, put like back, like was in the background, and like I was still like unconsciously, un- unconsciously, I was thinking about that maybe, and then like was that I have this breakthrough, because I was just doing like focus on the activity itself, like the throw the combinations, do the drill, like do that shit, and then I realized that like the only reason why I improved with the combinations was through repetition. Pure that's it, like pure repetition. And then I realized of one of the things that Alex told, that is like the anxiety, like a way for you like to overcome like and cope anxiety is for you like to do something. So you practice. That's the way, because I mean you got all this energy, all this like hormones and like all this anxiety, all this adrenaline. And like if you don't release that, that's why you can think straight, because you gotta release that in somehow. So I just realized that, and then like I talked with other member of the team, and like this person is way more experienced than me, and like I was able to see uh, her doing this like in real time, and I like when I was training, I was thinking about that shit, man. Like he did that like a lot of times, like a lot of times, a lot of times. So that's why she's not nervous. So I only have to do what she's doing, which is putting the volume. Of course, I don't have the much experience that of her, but if I just do the same thing, I will get the same results, because there is no secret. I was my form was bad when I was doing like the combos, like in the when I started getting back to training, right? After repetition, I got better, and that's it. That's the simple math. So here is no difference. So like I'm feeling nervous because I don't know how the calls are gonna go. But if I just like practice and practice and practice and like do so much volume, that I will just win by default, because you put so much volume into that it becomes hard for you to fail, because you did that again and again and again. So it goes just automatically, regardless the way that I'm feeling. So that's the shit. So even though like I'm sad, even though there are days that I'll be tired, there will be days that I'm angry, there whatever emotions, right? Humans. So if I just put the volume, like do that a lot, like automatically it will transpire it it will convey this confidence, the right way to do it, because like if I train the right way, like naturally I'll do that. And like I had this breakthrough, and it was really interesting because it's so simple, right? And then after I train, like since like I release that energy, that adrenaline, that anxiety, and then after you train, you release like the endorphins, right? Like you release that, so I was more calmer. And then I said, okay, yeah, that's pretty much the thing, right? No secret. And it's good. It's good that I have those frameworks, and that like I'm developing this skill of self awareness, because if you just say, oh shit, like you let one day, like one moment, like say, oh, so I'm piece of shit, that's not good. And like other thing that I'm focusing, wait a minute, drink water, right? Other thing that um I watched a video of Alex, and he was talking about you know like actually I watched that video a lot of times. I believe that in the future I will do one video specifically about that, but like the ego, right? Because I'm talking about a lot of this thing of the ego. So we have this image that we don't have control of because it was created by our parents, by society, by school, by teachers, like by laws, by things that have come way, way before us. So we don't have control of that. So we are naturally uh, adapt to those beliefs and those behaviors and those dogmas and like all these things, and we don't have control of. And most of the people, they go through their whole life without knowing that they were conditioned to believe in that. Like my point here is that it's all manufactured. Like it's all an image that is not necessarily the truth, unless like you let that be the truth about you. So because I had that, like in high school, like I had this group of friends, and like I don't know why, but they always look up for me. Like, oh shit, like, oh look Mateo, he's I don't know, I don't know what they say, like because I always like had this thing of leadership naturally. So I think that's one of the reasons. So I created that image that I'm badass, that I'm whatever, and then like when I got fucked up, like in terms of breakups and no heartbreak, this kind of shit. Like that, I think that I suffer more because of that. That thing that seems to be good, like that image that they have of me, like me being badass, like being the leader. The fact that I had that, and then like when I compare, like shit, I'm going through this, but I am the guy, I am the leader. See, like how that doesn't mean shit. Like it was pure ego, and like in that circumstance, in that circumstance of the heartbreak, it was way worse. Like I suffered way more because I had this ego. So and like that ego was created because of other people. And like today, like those same people that were like looking up for me, looking up to me, they said like I got like it's not even a friend anymore, but acquaintance, like someone that I know. And like he said that they told a lot of shit about me. Like man, like I don't think he will make it. I think he will be nothing. And like they're 95, all that shit. And like they're complaining. They don't know what they're doing. They're just following like the things that they were conditioned to do. And like honestly, I was angry, like during a certain period of time. But now I just don't give a fuck. And you see that like how the same people that create that ego of mine now they don't give a shit about me, because it's a roller coaster. It's like it can change overnight. And like if you let that be your image, like things that the other people say about you, you're fucked. So like the answer here is like, okay, so what is my identity? Would it make sense for your identity to be something that you can't control? Your behavior, like the way you are behaved. So that's what I'm learning. Like even though like there was this brief moment today, I realized that man, like I want to win. I will win. And I gotta make it easy for me. So I had to like let go of ego, and if I just if I condition like my win to be the outcomes, the money, I won't get fired because once I reach like the 10K, let's say, I will always like now it's 20K, then I will be happy, and I will go into the cycle like of suffering and like meaninglessness that doesn't have a meaning, because it's just like more and more and more. Like the thing is not like have the things that the hero have. No, it's not that. Like you want to be like him. So like my goal is not even though like the money is something that I really need now, but have the traits, have the work ethic have the mentality, have the capacity to outstand, like to endure pain and like be the job, like regardless the way that I'm feeling. That's the goal. Like become that version of me. And in order for me to do that, there will be suffering. There will be like annoying shits to do, and that's why I need to have a better, like a really good framework, things that I'm learning by myself now. And like I said, ego is something that I'm learning to disattach myself from it. Even though like it's important, there's some circumstances that I think ego like it's useful, yeah. But most of the time it's not. And like if you confuse that like ego with your true self, you're fucked. Because like I said, ego it will change regardless. Like if you put like your identity based on what people say about you, you're fucked. So that's why this is also important. That's other thing that I'm realizing now, that I need to wrap my identity in things that I can control, around things that I can control, which is my behaviors. So even though like, because days like this, like moments like this will definitely happen. Like suffering is guaranteed, success not. So like it's more worth for me to know how to go through, how to still do the job, like how to still like go through that shit and like do what it must be done, do what it takes to win in this in this worst situations, because that is a skill that like has a really meaning, like is really important. Because like for you to win when you have all the resources and all the best situation, okay, whatever. So if you don't have that, you're fucked. So like even though I'm not in my best conditions and don't have the best resources, it is the best scenario, because if I when I win with those resources and I get better resources, better environment, whatever, I will just like increase the likelihood of me achieving more things and more faster. And when things got more harder, I will know, like I will have the framework of how to deal with that, because I started with not the best condition, not the best resources. So it's been really crazy, actually. I'm learning a lot, man. That's just nice. But yeah, that's it. Take care, man, and we'll see how it goes, right?